A challenge to our values, a search for common ground, an invitation to global interdependence and shared responsibility for the whole human family, the greater community of life, and future generations.
The Earth Charter began as a United Nations initiative and was carried forward as a global civic society initiative. Thousands of people and hundreds of organizations contributed to the drafting process. It entailed a decade-long, worldwide, cross-cultural dialogue on common goals and shared values. The Earth Charter was launched in The Hague, the Netherlands, in June 2000.
Preamble. We stand at a critical moment in Earth's history. As the world becomes increasingly interdependent and fragile, the future at once holds great peril and great promise. We must join together to bring forth a sustainable global society founded on respect for nature, universal human rights, economic justice, and a culture of peace. The protection of Earth's vitality, diversity, and beauty is a sacred trust.
Respect and care for the community of life. Principles. Respect Earth and life in all its diversity. Recognize that all beings are interdependent and every form of life has value, regardless of its worth to human beings. Care for the community of life with understanding, compassion, and love. Affirm that with increased freedom, knowledge, and power comes increased responsibility to promote the common good. Build democratic societies that are just, participatory, sustainable, and peaceful. Secure Earth's bounty and beauty for present and future generations. Transmit to future generations values, traditions, and institutions that support the long-term flourishing of Earth's human and ecological communities.
Ecological integrity. Protect and restore the integrity of Earth's ecological systems, with special concern for biological diversity and the natural processes that sustain life. Adopt at all levels sustainable development plans and regulations that make environmental conservation and rehabilitation integral to all development initiatives. Prevent harm as the best method of environmental protection, and when knowledge is limited, apply a precautionary approach. Prevent pollution of any part of the environment and allow no buildup of radioactive, toxic, or other hazardous substances. Adopt patterns of production, consumption, and reproduction that safeguard Earth's regenerative capacities, human rights, and community well-being. Reduce, reuse, and recycle the materials used in production and consumption systems, and ensure that residual waste can be assimilated by ecological systems.
Social and economic justice. Eradicate poverty as an ethical, social, and environmental imperative. Recognize the ignored, protect the vulnerable, serve those who suffer, and enable them to develop their capacities and to pursue their aspirations. ensure that economic activities and institutions at all levels promote human development in an equitable and sustainable manner, enhance the intellectual, financial, technical, and social resources of developing nations, and relieve them of the onerous international debt, affirm gender equality and equity as prerequisites to sustainable development, and ensure universal access to education, health care, and economic opportunity, strengthen families and ensure the safety and loving nurture of all family members, uphold the right of all without discrimination to a natural and social environment supportive of human dignity, bodily health, and spiritual well-being, with special attention to the rights of the indigenous peoples and minorities. Honor and support the young people of our communities, enabling them to fulfill their essential role in creating sustainable societies.
Democracy, nonviolence, and peace. Strengthen democratic institutions at all levels and provide transparency and accountability in governance, inclusive participation in decision-making, and access to justice. Protect the rights to freedom of opinion, expression, peaceful assembly, association, and dissent. Integrate into formal education and the lifelong learning the knowledge, values, and skills needed for a sustainable way of life. Provide all, especially children and youth, with educational opportunities that empower them to contribute actively to sustainable development. Recognize the importance of moral and spiritual education for sustainable living. Treat all living beings with respect and consideration. Prevent cruelty to animals kept in human societies and protect them from suffering. Recognize that peace is the wholeness created by right relationships with oneself, other persons, other cultures, other life, earth, and the larger whole of which all are a part.
The way forward. As never before in history, common destiny beckons us to seek a new beginning. Such renewal is the promise of these Earth Charter principles. To fulfill this promise, we must commit ourselves to adopt and promote the values and objectives of the Charter. Our cultural diversity is a precious heritage, and different cultures will find their own distinctive ways to realize the vision. We must deepen and expand the global dialogue that generated the Earth Charter, for we have much to learn from the ongoing collaborative search for truth and wisdom. Let ours be a time remembered for the awakening of a new reverence for life, the firm resolve to achieve sustainability, the quickening of the struggle for justice and peace, and the joyful celebration of life.